Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, hello, how are we all doing? I hope everyone is doing great as always. Let me know if the music is annoying. I'm just putting some background noise in. It's like the Streamlabs lo-fi or something. As you can see, take profit placement is on point. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good day so far. I hope everyone had a good day yesterday. And I hope everyone's ready to make some money. I already have a in a trade as well, which we'll get into in a second. Obviously, we want to start on the fundamentals. But yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I'm live every single day. If you're new here, I'm live every single day on YouTube for free, the same time every weekday, unless it's a bank holiday for America or the UK. So, let's get straight into it. Now, Streamlabs is saying, as I said, Streamlabs is saying like rates are being skipped or frames are being skipped, so don't hesitate to let me know. But cheers for letting me know. Actually, it seems all good, apparently. But yeah, fundamentals. If you did look at the market outlook from yesterday, you will be already aware of what is going on fundamentally. If you haven't seen the market outlook, it's in my free Discord. I do those every single day for free in the free Discord, so make sure you check that out if you're interested. Discord's first link in the description. Yes, Dan, how you doing? But yeah, you know, fundamentally, not much to worry about anymore. The highlight of the day was 1 o'clock. Like, we did have quite a bit going on through 1 o'clock, and I did actually hold my trade, which we'll get into in a minute. But nothing else to worry about for the rest of the day. Before we get into the technicals, just make sure you like it up the stream, guys. It does really, really help. I hate to ask, it's the YouTube business. It's got to be done. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell so you get notified every single time I go live. And don't forget to like, please. Thank you. Now we can jump straight onto the chart. So yeah, as I said, I did take a trade this morning, and I was a little bit late actually. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, we'll get right into that and how that's going on now. As you can see, if I didn't close up here, we would be going back into drawdown towards my entry. But if you've seen the market outlook from yesterday, you would already be aware of what I was expecting, and I think I even spoke about this live yesterday as well. What I wanted to see was price. This is the accumulation. I wanted to see price manipulate to the downside, then distribute to the upside, take this liquidity, and then obviously come up to this daily, take this liquidity up here as well. Then once we've took the daily liquidity, we come to the downside, melt to the downside, come to the bottom of the weekly range if we go to the weekly time frame. As I said as well, the weekly does have a bottom wick now, which is annoying because we were using that as a complement for our trade. But the trade I took today was exactly what I wanted to see happen. I just closed my take profit. I just took profits a little bit earlier because of news, which we'll get into now. So we had a nice accumulation on the 15, on the half hour, on the 1 hour as well. The 1 hour was a little bit messy, not the cleanest accumulation, like barely an accumulation. But on the 30 minute, the 15 does look a little bit nicer. Now, we did manipulate to the downside, coming to this fair value gap, which is a fair value gap on the 15 minute, I believe. Yes, it is. We came into this fair value gap. Obviously, I was identifying AMD on the 1 hour time frame, so we formed a nice candlestick pattern here, as you can see, but I was asleep. This was at like 4 o'clock in the morning for me. I was asleep, fast asleep, around about here. So I could have took an entry here, and it would have been, you know, a few more profits. But I seen this candle here. When this started pushing up, I got in here, and I was like, it's worth the risk because we're going all the way up to here. But news came out, and it was, you know, I did say to be careful of 1 o'clock, and that's what happened. 1 o'clock happened. At half one, we exploded to the upside. As you can see, this was at the half one candle, I think, and it had no bottom wick. So I should have took the trade down here. I took it a little bit late, but I could have took it down here. Exactly what I wanted to see happened. As I said in the market outlook, in the free Discord. If you haven't seen the market outlook, check the free Discord, first link in the description. Just got to plug that real quick. And then after that, you know, we kind of floated around for a bit. There's a fucking fly, get out of the way. We floated around for a little bit. We respected this fair value gap, which is on the 15, I think. Yes, it is. It's on the 15. We respected the 15-minute fair value gap here. Once we respected that and started pushing up a little bit, I moved close to break even. Then we started pushing up, and when we were like up above here, just before the news came out, I closed straight to break even. Well, I didn't close. I just moved straight to break even and then let it play out. Luckily enough, we did, just go straight up. And when we came into this fair value gap, which is actually an inverted fair value gap, if we go to the 30-minute time frame, you can see we have an inverted fair value gap here, which we hadn't come back and respected yet. Excuse me. So you can see we created the fair value gap, which was bearish, inverted it, then broke through it again, and hadn't actually come back and respected it. So I was expecting price to come and respect this, and as you can see, that's what happened. I closed my profits here, and I think it was a little bit of a negative R, to be honest with you, but it's not about the R, because I wasn't going for this as my trade. This wasn't my trade plan. This was just based on news. Like, news blew up to the upside, came into this fair value gap, had no bottom wick, and I was like, okay, price is going to melt. It's going to flip at some point. So I got out here, made literally 0.8%, I think. It's like a 50k account, so $400 is like, what, just under 1%, something like that. So that happened, and then obviously you can see it was the right move to do so far. Manipulation. Yeah, this was the manipulation. It's just about building that confidence, isn't it, really? That's what I was talking about in the Discord. But I'm actually going to make a video on that later for the premium. I'm going to make a video on about confidence. So keep an eye out for that. It's just going to be one of those videos that I just tag you in the Discord for. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be about confidence and building confidence, how to build confidence, because I've realized I haven't really touched on that much. But yeah, this trade played out all right. I made the right move because of the intuition. As I said yesterday, if you remember the stream yesterday, this is the type of thing I mean. Like, once you've learned good take profit placement and you've learned to just ignore the risk to reward ratio, you will take trades that are perfect. You will close at the right time. You will get in at the right time. As you can see, I did get in a little bit late, but I should have got in right here, which was the bottom, which would have been the best entry. All that stuff. So after years, months of practicing good take profit placement, I had the right intuition there. If I was going for my high R trades, this was a negative R. It was like 0.8. If I was going for my higher trades, I would have been a bit greedy, maybe up here, maybe adjusted to here just to get that positive R, but I knew price was probably going to flip here, and as you can see, that's what it did. That's the trade. And also, as well as that, I knew that, distribution has done its job. We've discussed this multiple times. When the distribution takes the other side of the accumulation, it does not necessarily have to go any further. You can pair it with volume, higher time frame fair value gaps. You can target liquidity, all that stuff. And pair it with context as well. All that stuff to actually catch the big moves. But distribution as a whole does not necessarily have to target the other side of the accumulation range. Now, before we get into what I think is going to happen on GBP JPY, what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly look at Bitcoin, which is a mess, but we've got a nice accumulation here, as I was talking about, I think. I'm not too sure. I can't really remember. I think we were talking about an accumulation next because we were distributing up. I think I caught a trade here or down here, something along those lines. I caught a trade somewhere around about here, I think. And then I told everyone to wait for the next accumulation. We got the accumulation. Now we've got the manipulation. Now, what I wanted to see with this manipulation was taking out this internal liquidity here, the IRL. Wanted to take that out, maybe even come down and take this out, but we took this out. And I think if we go to the 30-minute, there is a fair value gap just here as well that I'm expecting price to come into. If we come into this and we form a nice candlestick pattern, you know what the score is. We take a trade here. We've got the context on our side. We've got the fair value gap on our side. If we come in, form a nice bullish candlestick pattern, we can take a buy position targeting the other side of this accumulation range, which will be around about here. Now you can, that was the worst line ever. You can also target this fair value gap, and you can also target this You can also target this external liquidity up here as well, if you want to. Now, if I'm going to get into this trade when if this occurs, I will obviously get in around about here. Take profit will be up here, and these are my free management spots. So we got the other side of the accumulation range, which, as I've just said, is where distribution has done its job. It doesn't really have to move any higher, but then you look at the bias, you can look at the high time frame fair value gaps, you can look at the context, you can look at the volume, and then you start to go, okay, maybe we can come up to here, and maybe we can even come up to here and take this liquidity out as well. So that's what I want to look for on Bitcoin. We're going to just slowly move our way down. But what I want to do quickly is go on to AUD USD. So on AUD USD, I know there's a couple people who trade this. I am currently in a trade and it is break even at the moment. I'm in profits, but my stop loss is now break even. Why is it break even? So I actually was a little bit late to this move, but I actually got a better entry than I would have done. Was I following my plan at the right time of this candlestick pattern? So as you can see, we manipulate down, as I discussed on yesterday's live stream. We manipulated down into this fair value gap. Then we formed a candlestick pattern, plain, clear as day. And you would have took the entry around about here. So you would have took the entry where we are right now, to be honest with you. But I was a little bit late. And also on this move up, we formed a nice fair value gap, which gave me even more confidence for the trade. And that's going to come in a second when I explain something that actually contradicted the move, which I hope a couple course members will have seen. If you look at my entry candle on the 4 hour time frame, you can see it should be staring you right in the face. But we had a nice fair value gap here. We obviously respected that fair value gap on this candle. Then we started pushing to the upside. So I got a better entry than I was going to originally planned, really, because if we were looking for the candlestick pattern, we wait for the candlestick close, which means we would have gotten about here. Then obviously we came back into this fair value gap, respected it, so I took my entry here. And the reason I quickly moved to break even is because we didn't have a bottom wick on the 4 hour time frame, and we still don't, which is actually a bullish confluence now. But at the time of my entry, we did not have, and we still don't, but at the time of my entry, the candle was open and we didn't have a bottom wick. As you can see right here, that's what I was talking about. So hopefully a few course members will have seen that. Did you take the trade without confirmation today? No. But this is what I was looking for on AUD USD. So we come down, take out this, come into this range, come into this fair value gap, have a nice candlestick pattern. We didn't actually take any context here. We didn't have the context here. But we had the fair value gap, which we respected. We create a fair value gap, and the thing about fair value gaps is the quicker price comes back to them, the more likely it is to be respected, and also the stronger the reaction will be. So, you know, we made this fair value gap a little bit a few days ago, a few weeks ago, a month ago, over a month ago, not a few days at all. And you wouldn't necessarily expect a very strong reaction like this. You would expect like a meh kind of reaction, whereas here we got, you know, come up straight back down to the fair value gap, boom, straight up, no bottom wick on the 4 hour. So I kind of ignored the context here because we had the fair value gap. It's like I just switched out a confluence for another confluence, basically. I took the trade, and then looking at the 1 hour time frame, pairing this with news and stuff like that, when we formed this fair value gap right here, coming out of this candle with the candlestick pattern, obviously, but when we came, not the candle, the fair value. When we came out the fair value gap, formed another fair value gap, which is inside this circle, I moved to break even. And I paired that with the fact that the 4 hour didn't have any bottom wick, and the fact that we didn't have news. We had news. Don't know what's going on here today. We had news. So I've moved it straight to break even, and I've just let it play out. And luckily enough, I did not get tapped. I don't know how. It's very, very close. Right now, I'm running in profits of 130 floating, 130 bucks, pounds, whatever. So we'll see how this plays out. But as of right now, I am in this trade. You can see me. You've seen me discussing. If you go back to yesterday's stream, you will see me talking about this exact move, which was going to happen. Maybe even if you look on Tuesday's stream, you will have seen me identifying this. And we've got to come up and fill this gap at some point. Like, we do have to fill this gap. It has to be filled at some point. Like, it won't just, price will not go lower and never fill this. It has to fill it at some point. So I'm hoping we can do that in this move up. That'll be very nice. But you can see me talking about this move before it even happened. The same situation with gold yesterday. I called the entire move straight up to the new highs. And same with this one as well. I called the manipulation to the downside into the fair value gap, which we respected, formed a candlestick pattern. It literally does not get any more easier than this. Manipulate down into a fair value gap, form a candlestick pattern on the same time frame you've identified AMD on, which is the 4 hour. Form the 4 hour candlestick. I actually got a better entry because I was a little bit late. So, you know, we also had the fair value gap as well. plus the, a lower entry. But yeah, that's the trade. It's break even. I'm looking to target this fair value gap up here ultimately, and obviously this will be the management spot here, or maybe even as we fill this gap here just before that, because we are guaranteed, like we literally are guaranteed to come and fill this gap at some point. So that's what's going on AUD USD. That's the trade. Letting it play out now. I'm not going to adjust the stop loss until we come up to this area. I might take partials if we start breaking up above here and start retracing due to the liquidity, but other than that, that is what's going on in AUD/USD. So GJ, there's a trade that I won just under 1% on. Bitcoin, we're waiting for that candlestick pattern, but it looks like we have just completely respected it. Now, this is going to happen sometimes. Sometimes you are going to miss the move, but the probability that this plays out every single time, like you just buy when we come into a fair value gap, the win rate on these trades will be very, very low. So it's not very often you see this happen and it plays out well, but it looks like very strong reaction off of this fair value gap here. Gold, what's going on gold? So we're going to talk about gold now, guys. Okay. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to join the free Discord server, which is in the first link in the description. I'm doing market outlooks every single day, quite late at night at the end of every trading day. So it's like 10 p.m. for my time, 10 p.m. BST to 11 p.m. BST. I'm doing market outlooks, free Discord, all that stuff. Make sure you're liking the stream as well, guys. It does really help. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you can get notified when I'm live. But on the 4-hour time frame, what were we talking about here? So if you remember yesterday, we had a nice accumulation here, which I called, nice manipulation down to here, which I called, nice distribution up to here, which I called. So now all we are waiting for is this accumulation. Now, the thing that's going to decide if we continue up and making these new highs is if we manipulate to the downside. And we've already discussed all of the potential moves off of this. So there's not really much else to say. It is literally the exact same situation as yesterday. Wait for that accumulation, wait for that manipulation, then wait for the candlestick pattern, take the trade, and you're good to go. So that's all of those out of the way. We're going to move on to GBP JPY now. So what's going on GJ? What do I want to see? So if we go to the 1 hour time frame, what I'm going to do very quickly is just get rid of all these boxes. We don't need these necessarily anymore. Are we going to keep that up here? I'm going to get rid of all these scribbles as well. These scribbles are from the market outlook, actually, I think, or yesterday's live even. We're going to get rid of all them now. I think you used supply and demand. I didn't use supply and demand, but I used what I've just told you. I don't use supply and demand. GJ, what's going on with you? So we have accumulated, manipulated to the downside into this fair value gap. It's very, very sloppy. But this is what I'm saying about backtesting, guys. If you backtest enough, you will be able to trade almost any market condition. So yeah, you'll build the intuition up quicker as well. So we've had that distribution, which means we're expecting an accumulation next. It literally, it should be textbook stuff now, guys. You shouldn't really have any questions as to what's going to happen next once I've said the distribution move has happened. Now, we may continue up. We may come up and take this liquidity. If not, that'll be a nice sign to continue a move down. Hopefully, we can come up and take the daily. It doesn't matter if we don't. We can still catch a nice move to the downside, seeing how the weekly candle closes. But what I'll be looking for now is this accumulation, preferably a manipulation to the upside, taking out this liquidity, hopefully coming up and taking out this liquidity as well. If we can continue a distribution move up to here, if we take out this liquidity on the distribution, we can then have an accumulation here, maybe even have a really internal accumulation where we manipulate down into this fair value gap here if we don't form another one on the way up. Then come and distribute up to take this, then move to the downside. We'll see how it goes, but what we're looking at next is an accumulation move, and it can go either way. We can manipulate up and distribute down, or we can manipulate down and distribute up. Either move is great for me. I'm bearish ultimately, but I'm looking to take the daily liquidity as well. So I've got a bullish and a bearish short-term bias, so I can take trades in either direction. It does not bother me at all. If we manipulate up, take this liquidity, that'll probably be the grade A setup. This will probably be the best setup I could hope for, is coming up and taking out this daily liquidity, then forming a nice candlestick pattern on the daily, on the 4 hour, whatever it is, and then taking a nice move to the downside. As I've said every single day for the past month, like a fucking broken record, I am targeting the bottom of the accumulation range. It is literally as simple as that. Like, if the weekly candle can close bearish, like maybe bearish engulfing, so it would have to come at least halfway between this candle, maybe around about here. If we can do that, that is a very good sign that we're going to continue to the downside. But what I'm looking to do to make this an even stronger confluence, as I've said, is take the daily liquidity. But as I said at the start of the week as well, we didn't have a bottom wick at the start of the week, so I was looking to take liquidity first. We don't necessarily have that anymore. Like, that's not really a confluence we can use, because we do have a bottom wick now, but we can still take the trade. It's still got enough confluences. It still fits my plan. It's still perfect. It's still going to be a grade A setup. It's just not going to be as perfect as it would have been, but it'll still make sense to take. Honestly, it'll be perfect. But that's because we're aligning a bunch of time frames, but that's also because of the context as well. But that's what I'm looking for on GJ. We've took, the other side of the accumulation range. Maybe we can continue the distribution to the upside. The only reason I didn't hold this trade any longer is because the move happened due to news, as well as the fact that the candle didn't have a bottom wick. We exploded to the upside on news with no bottom wick. Usually we flip to make that bottom wick. We did flip, in fact, and come to the downside. It looks like we're kind of going back up now. Maybe respect this tiny fair value gap here. But if we can get this exactly how I've drawn it on the screen in front of you, that will be the perfect setup, and that will set us up nicely for the week. Because what we can do is we can take this position and obviously have our full TP at the weekly fair value gap, look to move to break even, and then that's it. I'm not going to adjust my stop loss. I'm going to take partials instead. So what that would look like is we take a position up here and obviously have our stop loss wherever we need it to be based on the candles, based on the structure at that point in time. We have our ultimate TP all the way down here at the bottom of the weekly range, wherever that is. We have our TP all the way down there, and as we move down, when we take out some form of fair value gap on a higher time frame, when we break some sort of structure to confirm that we're bearish, what we can do is just move to break even and just take partials on the way down. Instead of adjusting my stop loss, because we might just retrace and then head down, I'm looking to catch this entire move. So I'm looking to take partials on the way down rather than having a managing my stop loss and kind of like squeezing the trade. But that's what's going on GJ. I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, ask some questions in the Discord, all that stuff. I'm sure me or another course member or someone else will get back to you, helping you out. It's a lovely community. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. GJ, we're waiting for accumulation. Gold, waiting for an accumulation. Bitcoin is the only thing we're actually we would be able to trade in, short term relative. So we want to come down, we want to come down into the fair value gap. We've took the liquidity. Hopefully we can form a nice candlestick pattern like this. You know how it is. Probably a morning star if you've ever heard of one of those. I know I don't talk about them much. And then we come and take out the other side of this range, ultimately targeting this liquidity up here. So Bitcoin's looking nice. Bitcoin's lining up perfectly. All we got to do is wait for that candlestick pattern. And as I said, all it takes now is two things: confidence and patience. Be patient enough to wait for the candlestick pattern. And then once you've seen the candlestick pattern, just take the trade. A few guys, it's not really an issue. It's not really like a dig, but a few guys are struggling with the confidence to take the trade. A few guys in the course are struggling with the confidence. And I just want to say, I'm going to make a video on this for the course members straight after this live probably, but all I want to say is it's like, it doesn't matter if you lose at the end of the day. First of all, if you're on a live account and you're a beginner trader, it does matter if you lose, so go onto a demo account. If you're on a demo account and you're a beginner, who cares if you lose? Stop trying too hard to avoid losses. You see me doing it, but that's because I've traded for 3 years. We've discussed this yesterday as well with the Elon Musk example. Like, we don't copy exactly what Elon Musk does on a daily basis now that he's a billionaire and hoping that we become a billionaire. We do what he did to become a billionaire. So what you need to do is just have the confidence to take the trade. If it fits your plan, take the trade. If it doesn't fit your plan, don't take the trade. If you don't have a plan, don't take any trades until you have a clear plan written out. Once you've got a clear plan written out, all you have to do is execute with that plan and journal your trades. And then it's just how many times you have, like, becoming profitable is just a matter of how many times you have to repeat the cycle of taking trades, taking trades, seeing what went wrong, fixing it, and then doing the same thing. It's just how many times you have to repeat that cycle until you start winning more trades than you lose. But yeah, once you've got the intuition of having a good take profit, having a good stop loss, and having the confidence to take your entry, then you can start, trying to avoid losses here and there, all that stuff. Hi Dan. Yeah, I didn't want to call you out live, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I will make a video on this in the premium chat. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be a bit more in depth than just a quick example. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking for on GJ and accumulation. On gold, it's the same thing. Just wait for that high time frame accumulation on the 4-hour. AUD USD, as I said, I'm in a trade for this. It looks like we're trying to disrespect this fair value gap here if we just draw this out now. You can see we are slightly pushing out of that. We'll see how we react to it. I am just going to let this play out now. See what happens. I'm going to let it play out. When we come to this area up here, I'll look at taking, moving my stop loss or taking partials. Same thing here and same thing up here as well. I'll do a quick look at USD JPY and all the other pairs. Could you analyze NASDAQ? Yeah, I'll have a quick look at NASDAQ. I'll add it to the list and I'll work my way down this list now. Before I do that though, guys, can you please, I think this is the futures. Yeah, who cares? If this is the wrong one, let me know. I don't really trade it, but yeah, guys, quickly like the stream up. It does really help me out tons. I've asked like 5 times and now I'm going on a little bit, but right, so 4-hour time frame, what is going on here? So we were waiting for a accumulation and we haven't got that yet. We've got a continuation of the distribution, although to be fair, this looks like the start of a massive accumulation range, maybe a high time frame accumulation. Once we get that, we can look at manipulation, seeing where we're going to manipulate into. What I'm going to do is, just for clarity, I am going to get rid of all these lines and scribbles. Don't worry, I appreciate the feedback. No worries. Happy to help. But yeah, what was I saying? USD JPY looks like we're about to start a accumulation, which is good. If we can do that, that'd be great. Come back down to this range, come back up to that range, boom. Once we got the accumulation in place, we can then look at areas to manipulate into. There's no point looking until we finish distributing. What's going on platinum? So I was saying as well, we just got to wait for that accumulation to start happening. It looks like it's about to start happening. We do look like we're going sideways a little bit here. Once we start accumulating, we can start looking for areas to manipulate into. We have come into this fair value gap. We haven't got a top wick on the 4-hour, so we might flip, considering there's 3 hours and 1 minute left. GBP Swiss franc, what's going on here? Pretty straightforward stuff. We're just waiting for that distribution. Did we get a candlestick pattern? No, we didn't. Hence why we didn't move nicely. It's, I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. We didn't get a candlestick pattern, and when we don't get candlestick patterns, we do tend to have sloppy moves. We didn't get a candlestick pattern here, sloppy move. But yeah, I'm looking to continue this move on GBP Swiss franc up to the top of the accumulation range, but I'm not going to be taking any trades here. It's a bit messy. USD CAD, what's going on here? I cannot remember my analysis from yesterday because it's just a fair value gap up here. Don't know what that means or why that's there. But this is a very clear distribution. So all we've got to do now is wait for that accumulation next. Very, very straightforward. Now, NASDAQ, what's going on NASDAQ? So on NASDAQ, we had a very clean accumulation right here. Don't know when this was. This was, I think, throughout the night or something. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday. So, the end of last week towards the start of this week, we accumulated, then we manipulated up, taking out this liquidity over here on the left hand side. We just paint this green very quickly. Then we distributed to the downside, and it looks like we're getting some form of expansion move. We took this liquidity, and as I've said multiple times, once we take liquidity, once we take the other side of the accumulation range, it does not matter anymore. We don't have to continue with the distribution move. So it's good to move your stop loss there, or good to take partials there even. It's probably better to take partials, because more often than not, we kind of just float around. But what we're looking for next is that accumulation move on the higher time frames. Moving in onto the 1 hour, what's going on here? Pretty much the same thing, although we have actually accumulated around about here. With a manipulation here, distribution to the upside into this fair value gap. So what we're looking for again is an accumulation on all time frames pretty much. So yeah, just wait for the next accumulation. As I said yesterday as well, guys, instead of trying to catch the move that you missed, just wait for the next move and don't miss it. Simple as that. Just wait for the next accumulation and you will be good to go. But yeah, that's everything, I think. We know what we're looking for on GJ now. We know to look for the next accumulation. Hopefully we can continue up. This would be the grade A setup on GJ. Bitcoin, wait for that candlestick pattern on the 15-minute time frame. Once we've got that, you can take a nice trade and we'll see what happens from there. Gold, wait for the higher time frame accumulation. AUD USD, I'm in the trade. We're going to see what happens, see if we get took break even or not. USD JPY, wait for that accumulation. Looks like we're about to start it. Platinum, same thing. GBP, Swiss franc, looks like we're trying to distribute, but it's a very sloppy move. USD CAD, we're in that accumulation. Just wait for that manipulation. Nasdaq, again, just wait for that manipulation. Instead of trying to catch this move, instead of trying to catch the continuation of a massive move that we've had, just chill. It does not really matter if you miss it, especially if you're on a demo account. But yeah, you know, that's it, guys. Like, all you got to do now is wait. As I said, patience and confidence. That's all you need now. Patience to wait for the right setup and confidence to take it once you've seen it. Other than that, I got nothing else to say, guys. You know, as always, it's been a great stream. Been a pleasure. But yeah, if you like the stream, don't forget to like the stream. Obviously all that stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much me done, guys. Like, I've got nothing else to share. If you want to catch the market outlook for tomorrow, make sure to join the free Discord, which is the first link in the description, where I do my free daily market outlooks, so you don't miss the next move. Like here, I said this was going to happen yesterday's stream. I said it was going to happen, or I said I was waiting for this to happen in yesterday's market outlook. We got this, and obviously now we're on the stream. We've had it. So instead of waiting for tomorrow's stream for the next move, go into the free Discord, look at my market outlook, and wait for this move to happen. Once we've got it, have the confidence to take the entry. That's all it is. Patience and confidence. Thank you for your teaching. I follow you from Brazil. You're welcome. Happy to help. But yeah, that's me done, guys. I've got nothing else to share. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. You know, I hope these are educational. I hope you're learning things. It's very hard to align the trades with the stream. I struggled with this when I did London streams. Like, it's very hard to align them. Sometimes when they are there, I will obviously take them, but you can see yourself, there's not really many setups as we're on stream. It's kind of when we're off stream throughout the day. The best way to trade this is just kind of have it on in the background, or pick a session to trade and only take trades in that session. But that's me done. Hopefully we can catch a trade tomorrow on the stream. Who cares? If not, the analysis is spot on every single time. If you found it educational, like the stream, whatever it is, I'm happy to help. But that's me done. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time for the same stream. Remember, I'm live every single day, 2:30 p.m. BST, every weekday on here on YouTube. Click the bell so you do not miss another stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have